Welcome back to our explainer on operationalizing machine learning. Today, we are diving into part 4 of a fantastic 10-part tutorial titled Introduction to MLOps for IT Professionals. This comes to us from Virtualization Options LLC, which is a Colorado-based technology research, education, and advisory organization. They've put together a really practical guide geared specifically toward IT pros and management to help you understand the fundamentals of MLOps and, more importantly, how to actually implement it in your own environment. So let's jump right in.
We need to start with a pretty stark reality check. 87%. That is the staggering number of machine learning models that never actually make it to production. Just think about that for a second. It means that all those massive investments in data science talent, expensive compute power, and endless research are frequently delivering absolutely zero business value. You know, a model might work flawlessly on a data scientist's laptop, but it completely fails to survive the leap into the real world. Across this whole tutorial series, we are exploring 6 core pillars: the MLOps imperative, the 3-dimensional challenge, designing reproducible pipelines, the post-deployment reality, governance and security, and finally, culture over tooling.
To set the stage, let's briefly recap Section 1, the MLOps imperative, bridging ML and operations.
Remember that MLOps exists specifically to solve that isolation problem we just talked about. It takes those battle-tested DevOps principles, things like automation, continuous integration, and continuous delivery, and applies them to the entire machine learning lifecycle. It's literally the bridge that closes the gap between an experiment and a production-ready system.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 3-dimensional challenge of code, data, and models.
As we learned in Chapter 2, standard DevOps is basically a one-dimensional game. You're mostly just managing code. But MLOps, it forces you to juggle a 3-dimensional challenge. For any machine learning system to be truly reproducible, your code, your data, and your models have to be versioned, tracked, and tested together all at the same time. And this dimensional complexity brings in a massive amount of risk. In fact, roughly 60% of ML project failures trace back strictly to data quality issues long before a model is even trained. We're talking about upstream schema changes or missing fields that just silently corrupt the inputs without anyone noticing.
Which brings us to our last bit of recap, Section 3, designing reproducible pipelines and engineering deterministic workflows.
When evaluating orchestration tools like Apache Airflow, Kubeflow, AWS Step Functions, or Azure ML pipelines, keep in mind there is no single best option right out of the box. The right choice is going to depend heavily on your team's existing cloud footprint and infrastructure expertise. But whether you go with Kubeflow for its Kubernetes portability or AWS for serverless orchestration, the golden rule remains the same. Configurations must always be externalized and never hard-coded.
We also covered continuous training, or CT. You probably know CI and CD, but this unique CT phase removes human bottlenecks entirely by automatically triggering a retraining cycle the moment your monitoring systems detect data drift or a drop in performance. And that absolute necessity for real-time monitoring leads us perfectly into our main event today.
Section 4, the post-deployment reality and keeping models healthy. This is Chapter 4 of the source material, the absolute meat of today's explainer, and frankly, it's where a lot of organizations stumble. You see, the whole deploy and forget mentality is a critical failure mode in this industry. An astonishing 91% of deployed models experience measurable performance degradation within just 9 months if they aren't actively monitored and maintained. Because a model is only as good as the current data it interacts with. And as we all know, the real world changes constantly.
So how do we catch that inevitable decay? MLOps demands a very strict 4-layer monitoring approach. You start at the bottom with Layer 1, tracking standard infrastructure metrics like CPU usage and latency. Then, Layer 2 tracks data quality, scanning for statistical deviations or unexpected null values in incoming requests. Layer 3 is where you evaluate actual model performance, digging into metrics like accuracy and F1 scores. And finally, Layer 4 connects those model outputs directly to business KPIs. That top layer is your ultimate measure of value, because it links technical metrics to tangible business outcomes, like how much churn you prevented or how much fraud you caught.
Now, when your monitoring tells you it's time to update a degrading model, you definitely don't want to just blindly swap it out. That is where techniques like shadow deployment come in, allowing you to test new iterations incredibly safely. The new model processes actual real-world traffic, but its predictions are hidden. They're logged for comparison against the live model, but they are never served to your end users.
It's basically the perfect safety net, and it really highlights what managing the post-deployment reality is all about.
Looking ahead to our next topic, we have Section 5, Governance and Security, Managing Risk at Scale.
In our future explainers, we'll see how adversaries aren't just hacking databases anymore, they're actively targeting ML systems. We'll be exploring threats like training data poisoning, which is designed to manipulate behavior, or model inversion attacks that can expose sensitive PII. We'll also look at supply chain attacks via public repositories, proving why data provenance is now an absolutely mandatory security requirement.
And it's not just hackers you have to worry about. The regulatory landscape is hardening rapidly. With frameworks like the 2024 EU AI Act rolling out, organizations that lack proper model lineage and concrete audit trails are going to face significant compliance risks and some very severe financial penalties.
Finally, Section 6, Culture over Tooling in Building Organizational Discipline.
We'll wrap up the 10-part series by looking at the human element, because scaling successfully demands a massive shift in priorities. We'll discuss why IT leadership needs to hire for engineering discipline, mandate cross-functional alignment across IT, legal, and business, and really focus on upskilling existing DevOps staff into MLOps roles so you have operational rigor from day one.
Because really, as virtualization options drives home in this tutorial, we have to completely reframe how we think about this. MLOps isn't a shiny new toy. It's foundational infrastructure. It requires sustained organizational investment, just like your data warehouse or your CI/CD platform. It is absolutely not a one-time project.
I mean, this quote really says it all. If your data scientists resist software engineering practices, or if leadership fails to get everyone on the same page, the biggest MLOps failures are going to be organizational, not technical. You could buy the most advanced, expensive platform on the market, and it will still fail to deliver value without the right culture behind it.
So as you evaluate your own organization's journey from messy experimentation to governed production, I want to leave you with a real thought-provoker today. Are you actually measuring the bottom-line business impact of your machine learning models? Because at the end of the day, if you cannot measure a model's direct contribution to revenue, cost reduction, or risk mitigation, you simply cannot justify the MLOps investment. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I hope these insights help you build some seriously reliable and valuable systems moving forward.